It's been a long time, decades probably, before I was excited, since I was excited about technology. I have spent most of my time getting pretty excited about what humans can do despite the technology, to be honest. And the only reason that I learnt about AI was because a few really persistent suppliers made it into my boss's diary. And I'm one of the many COOs in the room, right? There is nothing worse than a supplier having a meeting with a CEO. It's carnage, right? He thinks it's going to arrive yesterday, and then it's never anyone else's idea. So I thought I'd best go and get myself educated. So I went to a conference in November 2023, and what I was startled by was that there was technology that looked like you could just pick it up and use it. And I would really echo what Heather has just said, that the feedback on this technology is bonkers. You know, instead of having to push technology and cajole and bribe and have some merch, you know, it actually just sells itself because it kind of does what it says it's going to do. And I genuinely can't remember the last time that I was involved in something quite that exciting. If I get down to the nub of it, and I've been on a lot of seminars now and a lot of podcasts and breakfast meetings and books and all sorts of blah-de-blahs and a few panels, and what I've boiled it down to is that AI makes humans more human. So what it does is it takes out the really drudgery jobs from a process and enables humans to concentrate on the things that make them feel like human beings. And let's face it, tippy-tappying information to turn it into data is not anybody's favourite thing. What we like to do is add value to data, add value to information, rather than just to capture it and regurgitate it. So at Foster De Novo, we have also implemented a note-taking tool. It integrates into our back office system, which is IntelliFlow Office, and we then produce suitability reports with it, as well as the emails back to clients. Our paraplanners also had their arms folded, like the gentleman there that I told to unfold his arms when he had his photo taken. They actually were defensive, very nervous, didn't think it could possibly do. The thing you have to kind of do is be really critical about what you're actually looking to achieve. So there's paraplanning and there's report writing. These tools do nothing for paraplanning at the moment. What they do is report writing, and they've halved the time that it takes to write a report. Simple maths. On top of the note-taking efficiencies, you can see why everybody is talking about this. I'm not sure actually whether you would see it as a utility quite yet. Not sure how many of you in the room are already using it. If you're not, I would really encourage you to get a wriggle on. One of our Newcastle partners, advisors, who's probably lying in a gutter somewhere after the weekend, I would imagine, sort of recovering. But before he got drunk, he said to me that he thought we'd extended his career by 5 years because he can now do the things that he loves to do. He's a guy who's at an age when you might think he might be thinking about slowing down, but now he just wants to spend time with his clients, and he can see a way of doing that. So if that's not transformational, then I don't know what is. These are standard, out-of-the-box change management rules that I was taught. If I've got a profession, I'm a change manager. COOs are generalists, right? We don't know how to do anything properly. But if you go back far enough, I used to be a change manager. And these are the rules I was taught, and they've stood me in good stead, and they work really well when applied to AI. Make sure you have a shared vision, the people that you're working with. If you think too far ahead with AI, it gets really scary. Don't do that. Think about pain points in your process and how to alleviate pain points in your process. Make sure the people that you're working with share the same understanding of where you're going. Teams to make change rarely are the people that will run the business really well afterwards. If you're a really small business, obviously you don't have that luxury. If you're a bigger business, think about the people that are going to do the change really well as opposed to the people that will then run the business afterwards. Every team likes to succeed, so make sure that you set a team up with a few really easy things to succeed and then go and celebrate. I'm an expert at celebrating, so if you don't know how to do that, you know, just give me an email, I will let you know. In terms of this technology, actually just pilot it, right? This is not an early milestone, just get on and give it a go, because it's that kind of impressive. External imperatives are really hard to fake if you don't have one. The experience is that if a group of people get together and say, this would be a really good idea, 2 minutes later they think of another really good idea, and then 2 minutes later and they move on, and what you leave in your wake is a stream of kind of unfinished good ideas. If you've told your clients you're going to do it, or you've told your board you're going to do it, or you've told your shareholders you're going to do it, typically it'll be too embarrassing not to do it, right? So if you are managing a project, if you're the sponsor, make sure that your team have an external imperative so that they can't put it down when they get bored. This is another, just a generic thing, but applies really well to AI. Don't listen to the laggards. If you listen to the laggards, you never do anything. I mean, it's true for everything, but it's particularly true of AI. They don't believe. One of our advisors, a Sheffield advisor on this occasion, so he's not drunk, actually, he's licking his wounds. He broke his arm skiing, and that was the only reason he picked up the note taker. And he rang me afterwards and said, Helen, I can't believe how good it is, right? So he was probably he's typically a late majority, I would say, but he scooted right down to the early adopter because he had to. Just concentrate on your early adopters. Your innovators are already using this stuff, they're just not telling you, right? They're probably putting stuff into ChatGPT that would give you kittens. So, I just kind of try and influence them to come and use what you're recommending, but they're already using it, trust me. There are some perils with this tech, even if you're not talking about the Stephen Hawking's quote, which is that it could spell the end of the human race. If you don't go there, what I do think we ought to worry about is where our new people are going to get trained, because what AI is doing is removing the need for some of the simpler jobs. So when you turn up to work and you don't know how to phone a client, and you don't know what a client is, you don't know what the product is, right? You cut your teeth on stuff that's really easy to teach and it's really easy to learn. And those are the jobs that I think are going to be there's going to be less of them, right? So I think we should concern ourselves with how we train the up-and-coming talent in our market. That's probably the biggest peril I see. In terms of what's exciting us at Foster De Novo, we have built a digital advice solution. It's called MAP, My Advice Place. The way that we intend it to work is there will be a human being in a room in one of our corporate clients. We have an employee benefits business as well as a private wealth business. So they will be in the room, they will be educating, they will be inspiring people to take action. This is the problem with the advice gap, it's getting people to take action. So they will be in the room getting people to take action. There will then be a digital solution in front of them that they will be able to use to take action, and at the end of that journey there will be a private wealth advisor that will be able to provide them with any extra information, any comfort, any confirmation that they might need. Thank you.
Amazing, thank you. Fantastic. I love, Helen, what you were talking about on change management. Don't look too far ahead, and it's that idea of the map and the compass. It's have an idea of where you're going, get an idea of where you're going, get some wins, and see those projects through. It's so, so important.